You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
What is that?
Oh, just float it on the floor.
This is the things you're supposed to say.
Okay.
No, just,
No,
you know
what
what?
I'm thinking.
Just
Here,
float
yeah,
it onto
pass
the
it.
floor.
Yeah, for now.
It's no big deal.
All right, now we'll just wait 10 seconds. Pretend that we didn't start yet.
Okay.
It's a film business. Take two.
Yeah, going again. That was your chance.
Oh, crap.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Cool. Nikita, Oleksiy, I am stoked to have you guys here. What is awesome about having you guys here is that for the first time ever, we have another father-son situation.
Oh, wow. I never even thought about that.
From us.
Oh yeah. Actually,
I think it's
the two teams.
That's
I think
right.
Right now.
That's right.
it's badass, man.
It's up to the audience to decide which is which.
Well, that's true. That's true. It is hard to tell.
Might be a little bit difficult.
Yeah. That beard right now has just aged you.
Oh yeah, probably it's like that. You know?
This is awesome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So,
Welcome.
where the hell do we start? First off, I want to start with, I'm thinking the vodka. It's either the vodka or the award.
Yeah, tell us about. Well,
Well,
just
let's
a
warm
second.
up, maybe.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah, let's
warm
warm up.
That's the truth.
So, Oleksiy, tell us about this again. If anyone can see this.
Oh, yeah, but the tequila, this is a
Yeah.
tequila bottle.
Right.
A kettle
Vodka.
bottle. Yeah, they're made in Mexico.
Yes.
The
But the
bottle-
vodka made here in Canada.
Love it. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the vodka?
It's very simple, you know. There's like
You
actually pretty much traditional process in Ukraine, you know. It's lots of people making at home.
Okay.
It's very healthy because it's just sugar.
Yeah, that's the healthy thing. Yeah.
Some process, you know.
Lots of
and
vitamins, yeah.
distillated. After that, it's distillated, cleaned, you know, everything, and we get like some of this stuff. It's my secret, you know, what I edit.
Love it. It looks good.
This is just for the good taste. Yeah, and that's it. It's pretty strong. Be careful.
Well, we saw Keith
Don't
Murphy
top
bring
that to the top.
his homemade
Yeah, we won't top these up.
sauce, so we decided we'll bring our
Yeah.
homemade vodka.
No, that's awesome. I wish
change.
Keith was here so we could do the whole
So you,
whole meal.
Oleksiy, you mentioned earlier that this is, or Nikita, you mentioned that this is a shooter, like you shoot it.
Yeah, you should. You know.
Well, you guys don't mind if I just sip away?
Sure.
Yeah, I might just do the same.
It's
Only
strong.
because
If you can
this
reach
is
over.
this is meaty.
To,
Oh, you know what, Blair? I think that you should stick this one in a wide. Come out and do a shot with us.
yeah, man. And then put Blair at the other end there. He can come in.
Doing this together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to do it?
You want to come down here? Well, I'm gonna sip as well, if that's
Yeah.
okay with
I'm
you.
going to take a little bit of a shooter sip, but
Yeah,
hey,
Well, why don't we all sip then?
yeah. Then,
take
okay.
a nice swig off the top and then we'll call it.
All right.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. I love that you're here.
Oh, that's
I'll take a bottle.
yeah. That's tasty.
Yo, that's actually,
That's tasty.
in terms of vodka, this is insanely good.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
I'm not a
Thank you.
vodka guy because traditionally in Canada we do syrup. We just drink syrup.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I can try to do vodka from syrup as well, probably.
this looks a little syrupy. Yeah, I'd put this on my pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a hell of a breakfast.
But be careful, you know.
Oh,
After the
that's-
breakfast, you can't drive.
That's
Well,
warm.
that's true.
Well, like I said, this is 55%
Yeah,
alcohol.
that's-
so, yeah, it warms you up.
Oh, it is.
Jesus, man.
For the winter, I usually ask him to do one with the chili pepper. So if it get really cold,
Oh yeah,
get home.
I do like few different editions. You know, there's like
Really?
the paper. Oh, it's beautiful, especially for the like cold, wet weather.
Mm-hmm.
After that, just got one shot.
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to next fall when you make deliveries.
Yeah. Is this you drink this right before work?
But I am working right now. You see,
That's true.
This is for inspiration for the next invention.
you know, there's like there's some joke, the old joke, some journalist came to the some factory in Soviet Union in the past, you know, and talk to some like machinist. He's just doing like some lasing machine, whatever, and journalist asking, so man, I heard lots of workers here just drinking whole day, just 1 glass, 2 glasses, Yes, probably, yeah. Did you drink? Yeah, a little bit. 1 glass? No. 2 glasses? No. 3 glasses? How you working? No, 4 glasses. I'm working.
Well, that sounds right to me.
Yeah, that sounds classic.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love
Love
it.
it. Okay.
If you see Andrew with his cell phone, he's just taking photographs, guys.
Right there. All right. Well, let's first. I wanna talk about the award. So, I just realized this. I think that Randy's mentioned this to me before, that you had won an Academy Award. Can you tell us first off what you do, when it started? Kind of introduce yourself and your son, and then let's talk about this this award, because it's pretty awesome. I think
That's badass as shit, man.
yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, this award we got in been nominated 2005 and 2006. It was some like ceremony for this award, and in Los Angeles. Actually, we got like 2 awards.
Now he's
at
bragging.
the same time.
Jeez.
Yeah, because for me it was just one for the auto robot for the Ukraine
Okay.
system, and Anatoly, Anatoly Kokosh is my friend and right now owner of the Filmotechnic Ukraine company, and he got the second Oscar for Cascade crane. It's this after that in United States Cascade was copied. It called Strada crane.
Okay.
Yeah, and but originally the crane was made in Ukraine in the 80s. It's long crane. It's 21 meter long.
Wow.
Yeah, and 2 Oscars. It was really a big surprise for the American Academy, because it's like 2 Oscars went to the one company in the same time.
And not from States.
And
not
the
from
company
the
was
States. Yeah, man.
the first time the company in Ukraine, from Ukraine in the States,
Right now everybody talks about the 20 Days in Mariupol that got the Oscar.
Yeah.
And the last one. And they're saying it's the first Oscar for Ukraine. Well, actually, this was the first Oscar for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Scientific and Engineering Award.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We got it. That's huge.
Yeah, and of course the history way back to the 80s, because we designed this first Ukraine in let's say it was 1984, 86, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
So, having said that, for our listeners and anyone viewing this on YouTube, could you explain what the UCrane is? Like, you mentioned it, we know what it is, but somebody listening may not know. We're going to post pictures, but
Of course, we had Mark on recently, the driver, but he just.
but nobody's
drives.
listening
He
to
doesn't-
Mark's.
Isn't yeah.
I did.
So tell us what is the UCrane that you speak of?
So it's a stabilized system. It's a crane that we put on the roof of a car or a vehicle. It has a stabilized crane and a stabilized head. It's remote controlled, and it's made to shoot other vehicles. So
Right.
it's a chase vehicle that shoots other vehicles. So basically any car commercial you see, if you see driving footage, there's some sort of a UCrane system working on it.
Right. So people that are familiar with filmmaking, cranes, whatever, you can push it, or it goes on a dolly, whatever, on a track. So a crane is what lifts the camera to whatever height and whatever you need. And the UCrane is that particular type of system on top of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a human. It's like you control it with a joystick. You don't have to stand on the roof with
Right.
swinging the crane.
100%.
It's all operated safely from within the vehicle.
Right. And now, do you guys, you know, it telescopes now too, right?
It telescope.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, it's a funny situation. A little bit story about how we created this
Yeah, no, well, I want to hear
equipment.
that.
Actually, the situation which we have right now is very similar. We sat in evening with Anatoly.
Across the table with some vodka.
Right on.
Not big one, it's like something like that.
Not me. I was.
I thought we were the first.
And Anatoly sitting. Oh, Oleksiy, listen. Is it possible to put the crane on the roof of the car? I said, what do you mean? The cascade crane, 21 meters long, and almost 1.5 ton total weight with counterweights. No, something smaller. It's crazy idea, but we can try. And we tried. And first,
Wow.
the original name Auto Robot actually for this system.
Auto robot.
Auto Robot.
Oh, okay, auto.
Auto Robot. Auto. And the first Auto Robot was telescopic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But not stabilized.
Not stabilized, of course, but it's telescopic. Of course, after that, we figured out it's very complicated to make it. You know, it's like 80s technologies. It's like
Yeah.
50, 30, 40 years ago, probably. You know, there's like different technologies. Very difficult, you know. And after that, next generation, we made just regular cranes without the telescope. And after that, step by step, we figured out we need some stabilization. And first was designed the flyhead. It was flyhead 2. After that, flyhead 3. It was stabilized heads, you know. And after that, we figured out, we need stabilization on the crane as well, you know, to get a good image, to use more longer lenses, you know, zooms, whatever, you know.
Sure. Get in
And
tight.
it's like, yeah. And after that, step by step. And finally, it was, we were here already with Nikita, and we work with UCrane, Auto Robot, many years. And I figured out and told Anatoly, create the telescope arm, because it's like more comfortable work with. And
Wow.
they design it, and I suggested Anatoly, don't do like completely new edition of the crane, make just the front of the crane different, you know.
So
In
you
this
can
case,
attach it to cranes.
we
from
can
before.
attach to the existing cranes, you know.
You
It's
just
very
change
comfortable.
the arm.
Yeah.
You don't change the
Yeah.
center post. You just change the arm.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
The back the same, like with counterweights.
Center post the same.
Center post the
just
same.
the front part that's
Front.
different.
And we still have in the shop the regular arm. If you need regular arm, we can swap like probably a couple hours, 3 hours.
Oh
We
my
can
God.
swap the arm. Yeah, and he did it, you know, and we started work using it. It's actually, after the first few days, Nikita said, I'm more comfortable. And lots of crane operators, on the beginning, it's really scared, because it's like, you know, you have like additional like access to operate, but at the same time, it's much easy to operate, because if you know, you start
Gives you
driving,
more
you know,
control.
yeah, you have more control, especially if you're driving pretty close each other, you know.
Yeah, which we do a lot.
Yeah, I do a lot, you know. You can just extend a little bit arm, and you can play. If, for
Yeah.
example, you're closing, you know, just suck the arm in, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember coming up, and I have to come as close to the mat box as possible. But now you guys can come
Yeah.
to me,
So
Yeah,
now you and Mark can basically roughly get me there, and then I can
and then you can slide
take
it in.
Yeah.
the
love it.
last couple inches. Which
Yeah,
is
man.
So
And-
so
and-
helpful to me.
For anyone that doesn't understand this stabilization stuff, just get your iPhone out, take a picture, a video, and walk with it,
Yeah.
and then
just-
and then watch it back.
yeah.
And watch how you bounced around with your hand. So that's what we're talking about at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or more.
And you guys are shooting
Or more.
moving cars on crappy roads,
Or
really
off-road.
tight on badges,
Yeah, or-
and,
yeah.
or off road. You were just in Montreal shooting in the snow.
Oh
Yes.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, but we can't talk
Yeah.
about it.
Okay, we won't go any further, but
Unfortunately.
still, that's just another example of terrain that you guys work on.
Actually, without the stabilization on an arm, it wasn't impossible because on the beginning, even when we started the business in LA in 1996, we didn't have stabilized arm yet. We got the stabilized head, but the arm wasn't stabilized, and especially on the tilt, we broke lots of gears
Because the car
Would bounce.
because it's
Of course,
bouncing,
sure.
you
Makes
know?
sense.
this way, the car
yeah.
bounces, the
Yeah.
arm stays.
And the huge force on the gears, and they snap the teeth on the gears, And after that, I called the Kiev and called to all our engineers that, guys, we need stabilization, okay? And yeah, we put this stabilization on the arm,
Wow.
and after that, it's like I don't know, like tank in the military
Sure.
situation, because if you can't catch the target if the your like a ствол,
Gun.
Yeah, it's just playing like that, It's supposed to stay steady, The car, tank can go like that.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be steady and you can operate, The same exactly situation on our arm.
But whenever I hear people say on set that it's Russian tank technology, it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the technology that they use has more to do with avionics and
Yeah.
keeping the plane, in
Stable.
XYZ axis, stable in air. Like the way the tanks work is actually very different. It's mechanical big gyros. They started with optical gyros from avionics, and then they went to digital gyros. It's actually completely different. It was not a tank technology.
Where do these rumors or where do people get this stuff? They just look
Here,
at it
Russian
and make
arm,
shit
they
up.
look at it and they
Right.
go, it's got to be a
It looks like
Russian
a
tank
tank.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And
And
actually,
actually, sorry,
Yeah, sorry.
a little bit of context. We talk how it was invented in Ukraine was Oleksiy and Anatoly sitting at a table drinking. The way things worked back in Soviet Union is you didn't have a Panavision to go to and rent equipment. It was studios, like this was a Kiev studio, and they made everything. Clothing, equipment, lights, it was all basically made in a studio. So every studio had an engineering department. And Anatoly was basically part of the engineering department of the studio. And he was the director of photography. So they collaborated a lot on different projects, creating,
Wow.
like they made a Soviet version of Steadicam, and they made the dollies and the cranes, because you couldn't rent it. You
Even
couldn't
ca-
just
even
buy
cameras.
Right.
or rent.
even cameras.
You had to make it. So they kept inventing.
The director of photography
That's incredible.
in United States, in North America, like Canada, United States, and actually in Europe as well. Really lucky guys, If I need something, I just go to the rental house and I get everything, In Soviet Union period, it doesn't exist, No
Yeah.
rental houses, nothing. We got some technical base, of course, but basically all
But
our
technical basis
departments-
from movies before that
It- yes,
built it.
just movies built it, director of photographies or just art directors or whatever, there's like people created something and after that collected in the storage, for the next generation, for the next movies, but it's no base like we have right now, like Panavision, like
Sure.
Red and Whites, like our company, it didn't exist at that time, and why we design it because very often people asking me how you just invented all this stuff. Because we were
Because we
really,
had to.
we had
You
to.
had to.
And you had
I have to have it,
and you had a ready supply of vodka.
Yeah.
That's right.
See, that's how the podcast started. Andrew and I we were just sitting here having a glass of scotch and thought we clinked them together and said, "Hey, that would make a great sound for the end of the podcast."
Everything we've invented was
Cheers to
because
that.
of
Our invention.
So, Oleksiy, you're a DP. You're a director of photography.
Yeah, my background actually DP, but I started basically all my life in the film industry. After the school, I started on the studio as a light technician.
Did you go to school for film or?
No. It's late. It was later.
Okay.
In the beginning, it just started like a light technician, and after that, I finished some courses as a camera assistant, and was second AC, first AC, and after that became the camera operator, and after that I went to the university, the Moscow Film University, pretty famous. I graduated and I got like master degree as a director of photography.
Wow.
I'm stunned.
Yeah. And after
That's
that,
badass.
yeah, I work as a director of photography. I got like few movies, which done in Soviet Union. After that, in Ukraine, and after that, and in parallel, I worked all the time with Filmotechnic and designed the new equipment.
Sure.
That's like,
Basically, Filmotechnic evolved from the engineering department at the studio. Once the Soviet Union started falling apart, you could privatize companies, and basically Anatoly privatized the engineering department, turned it into a company, and then kept going with it.
Yeah.
So before you guys sat down with a shot glass of vodka to discuss this, the Ukraine, the stabilization, the cranes, it didn't exist anywhere. Hollywood didn't have it. New York didn't have it.
Well, stabilization existed in some
No,
very
stabilization,
high-end systems, mostly for spying.
But for making movies and using an automobile with the crane just didn't exist.
Ukraine, no.
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 I can tell you about the stabilization. Of course, stabilization is not something what we invented. And the stabilization exists like over the probably 100 year,
Sure.
Even more, because it's like all aircraft starting from the beginning, got the like even the ships got this some kind of stabilization for the compass.
Sure.
This like physics exists like years and years, but for the film industry, first what was designed actually in 1979 probably, it was something similar to the Westcom. You know the Westcom system?
Yeah, sure.
Westcom, yeah. Yeah, and in Moscow it was designed some couple
Prototypes.
prototypes. It was, but it was big, the special camera, special balancing, everything was designed for the film camera and for one type of the lens, because as soon as the optical elements moving inside, you change the balance, everything's supposed to be compensated. It's very, very complicated, extremely complicated system.
And it was built for the Olympics.
It was built for the Olympics, the Moscow Olympics in 1980 was Moscow Olympics, and the first shots was done for Olympics Games that time. And that's it. In a parallel, Westcom created the own system. You know Westcom is actually here in Canada.
Yep.
They created another system very similar, but the difference because Westcom in the beginning got like how I can tell, this is like силовая стабилизация, не знаю как это.
They use stronger motors to
stronger
stabilize
motors and
versus sensors.
And the big gyroscopes, which the gyroscopes, it's just keeping the system in a stabilized situation. But the first Soviet system was designed as with gyro sensors. In this case,
Makes it a lot
lighter and more efficient,
And I imagine smaller.
Smaller, lighter.
Beyond,
Still, at that point, it was
big, because it's big zoom, big camera, whatever. But I knew these guys, and I worked with this system a few years. And after that, when we decided we need some head for the auto robot, you know, I went to Moscow and met these guys and talked to them and said, okay, I can give you technical requests. What we need exactly? We need at what this situation was first in the world, you know, because together with these guys, we designed the first head which can accept any cameras, any lenses. You don't need special balance, nothing, you know.
Wow.
Plus it's pretty
you need
small.
to balance, but it
You need to
didn't have
balance.
to be as precise as before.
Yeah.
It
Right,
didn't have
right.
to be one camera, one lens. Now you could put anything. So
Yeah.
they made it more versatile, more
Absolutely.
accessible.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is we're talking about stabilized heads.
yeah.
Right.
And this
The
two
crane
systems-
didn't exist. That
Yeah, the
that
crane
that
doesn't
their
exist,
crazy invention.
and a regular stabilized head doesn't exist that time. Didn't exist that time as well.
Yeah, this
So-
was before Libras, before everything.
Libra, before all this Scorpio and all this stuff.
Right. So the stabilized head was created first.
Yeah. No, first crane.
They did crane first, and then they realized they need stabilization.
Okay.
Yeah, because the
The,
crane.
the helicopter system that we're talking about from the Olympics, that was like a separate thing.
This separate thing.
He just had experience working with it,
Mm-hmm.
so when they started, approaching their problems, he
Ah.
said, well,
Yeah,
let's
yeah, yeah.
That
take-
experience
let's take
came
what
into
we
play.
learned
Yeah.
here
Yes,
and
of
apply it
course.
here, but make it a little more user friendly.
Yeah, of course,
Sure.
it was like professional engineers. I didn't have any professional engineering background. This is my hobby. In this case, I just created the technical requests, and after that, the guys followed my technical request, created the head, and the arm, the first arm, got like 2-axis head, non-stabilized regular head. Of course, we can shoot only on the good asphalt road, and you can any dampening, everything, anywhere, even on the lens like 28 millimeters wide, and or 18 millimeters even, you can see like roll shaking, moving, tilt a little bit, like non-stabilized head is non-stabilized head. Why we decided we need something different, because probably we can put some like rubbers, some like softeners. I said no, it's like it's deadline. We can't go forward
Right.
without the stabilization. We need stabilization. As soon as we got the stabilization, the picture was completely different, even with the first prototype of the head.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is a good story.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, my head's blown.
Fuck, I wish I knew more about engineering.
Probably from this one, no?
Yeah, that's it. Let's get back to the vodka. It's
So-
very tasty.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. So when did you come over to Canada, and what was what brought you here? Was it the film industry?
You were in Los Angeles first, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We set it up the first business. It actually, it's funny, it
No,
was
first it was
first
New York.
equipment.
Okay.
No, first we were in New York in
91.
91.
But it didn't work.
Yeah, but it was like first attempt. We brought the first stabilized head. We brought the auto robot. We brought the cascade crane, 21 long one. It was actually for some kind of cine gear exhibition just in New York.
It was like showbiz.
Oh, okay.
Showbiz.
Okay.
It's called showbiz.
I want to see
Okay.
this crane.
Yeah, I got some like
21
I'll send you
meters.
pictures.
I will try. I think I have even some kind of video from that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I have the video. I will try to find the first time CNN without any, because between us.
Yeah, between us.
Between us, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
If you, for example, exhibit something on some exhibition,
yeah.
and the CNN, if you want to promote yourself on a like big screen, like CNN, the BBC, whatever,
Yeah.
you're catching CNN like guys. I want just it will
Yeah,
cost
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It will cost you this one. No, it's okay. I can pay and go. The first time the CNN came to us and said, we want to take like pictures, we want to take a video, we want to promote you. You don't need to pay anything.
Oh wow!
First piece of equipment out of Soviet
Yeah.
Union and States. So for them it was like, wow.
I think I have this
Wow.
video.
They
I think I
actually-
have this video.
They left Soviet Union. They came back to independent Ukraine.
Yeah, actually, it was funny. The guy who brought us to New York for the exhibition, he promoted us, of course, just, talk everybody, this like 5 military engineers just ran from the Soviet Union, and supposed to create some like stuff here in the United States. And it was still Soviet Union. He said, you guys, you stupid, you can't return back. Because KGB is waiting for us right away. But guys, they suddenly, we got information from Soviet Union. It's no more Soviet Union. That's it, done.
Like literally, it fell apart as they were in New York.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They left
Oh.
Soviet Union. It's
We
kind of
left
like,
Soviet
remember the Terminal with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
While he's in the
Yeah,
air,
yeah.
his country falls apart.
What's
he can't go
what's the
anywhere.
time frame? What is it?
91.
No, but what? How many days?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months. Okay,
Yeah.
so you came to New York.
We
That
left
3 months.
in September. In December, we back to the Ukraine. From United States in September. Soviet Union in September, and coming back to Ukraine in December.
And at that point, it's already a different country.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Wow.
Yeah, and we started the first time we were there, but of course, there's like as soon as I know the North American business, right now, because I worked basically the first time I worked for the big movie in like big TV serial. It's called
Attila the Hun.
Attila the Hun.
Okay.
TV
Sure.
serial, and actually
It
my
was,
first experience work with Hollywood.
Jared
With-
Butler was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was.
It was one of his first sort of up and coming movies.
Yeah, and actually our Stabilized, it wasn't Auto Robot. That time it was Cascade 10 meters, but we set it up on a pickup truck.
Sort of like a camera car with
Yeah,
a crane.
camera
on the
car.
back.
Yeah, we went for a couple shots, and after that, as soon as the guys saw this result, and of course, director of photography asked the producer, to keep us, for whole movie. Producer said, "Okay, do you have money?" Director of photography said, "No, I don't have. No, I have your money. This on the end of the movie, we can just play this money game." Director of photography, no, but it's like it's impossible. Okay, relax. I give you this piece of equipment for whole movie. And the director said, "Okay, this guy's sitting doing nothing. I need movable base of the crane." And we worked on the set as a regular crane as well. We just moved from the point to the point, do the different shots. Because they shoot at that time, they shot like at least 4 cameras worked at the same time. Sometimes 6 cameras.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Big movie.
speed up the process. Yeah, the big movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, this is my first experience, and after that, we tried repeat our journey to United States in 90s.
96. So the reason it didn't
60.
work in 91, they couldn't stay.
Yeah.
Well, number one, the country fell apart. They had to go
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and figure shit out, And,
Yeah.
and the second was, like, people liked it at the exhibition, but they didn't trust it. And you know how it is in our film business.
Yeah.
They like the stuff they're used to. It's hard to introduce something new,
Right.
especially something from Soviet.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
the
you
whole don't reinvent the wheel sort of a feeling.
Exactly.
Everything they're doing already is
So
working.
it didn't catch in 91.
Yeah,
but then
it's
they
not-
went back
not-
in 96.
Yeah.
and they actually tried.
Even 1996, it was very difficult to
It was
move
difficult,
forward.
but they established a base there.
Yeah.
They rented an office. So they stayed after the cine gear.
And this is in LA now.
This is in
in LA, yeah.
and they
Well-
stayed there for a year, and try to show here, show there,
Yeah.
try to reach out to some people and
Did
find-
anybody hook in?
Well, finally, a big commercial director that was shooting cars. He was actually shooting a commercial for the Mercedes ML,
Sweet.
and yeah,
ML55 actually.
Yeah.
and the MLs were always built in States, like they were never built in Germany because they built it for the American market. And
Good
he
job.
had enough weight to sort of say, well, I want to try that, because he was a big time. And they put it on the Mercedes to shoot another Mercedes.
It was 3 Mercedes,
Wow,
3
really?
prototypes that time. And we
And-
shot in Sierra Nevada.
Off-road, crazy shit.
Crazy off-road.
They got stuff they couldn't dream of. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hell of a landscape.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Really?
And the producer who produced this commercial, he said, you know, the 100th year, the people shooting in Sierra Nevada. And it's so complicated because you have to put some like tracks, you know, they level the tracks, you know, they bring the big cranes, you know. First time we did it so easy.
Yeah.
First
And the
time
footage
is the
was
history.
incredible.
No
Yeah.
way.
And then after that, it was easy, because once you have first big name
Yeah.
that, you know.
So is this the official history of the Mercedes then? That we know of right now?
And yes, and
Yeah,
then,
yes.
using the Mercedes.
and then we
Yeah. So
yeah.
and then we
ML55.
figured that it was a great vehicle for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really the first SUV. There was nothing. I mean, Jeep Cherokee was there, but it's not.
Oh,
Doesn't
I
have the
see.
same space. Doesn't have the same suspension.
So at the time, this was the vehicle wasn't really as available. This was just this
they
made
always
a lot of sense.
the way they always put it on the rental vehicle before, like, the market really realized that this is like this gear is, you know, changing the
the
commercial
game.
world,
Yeah, yeah.
changing the game. Then they started building like a purpose-built vehicles. But before then, they were putting it on everything. I mean, I have pictures of a Volkswagen Bug was an outdoor
Volkswagen
option
Bug.
on it.
Really?
Even, yeah.
They knew we were one, but still.
Send me that.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, they
Hilarious.
kept putting
Wow.
it on all kinds of vehicles. The first job in Toronto, we put it on a Ford Explorer. Like, because we haven't met Mark yet.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine if today I was going out on a job and you guys were in a Volkswagen. I'd be giggling the whole
You'd
time.
probably walk away from that job.
I'd say, Andrew, the windows are tinted, but can you stop smiling and giggling and
Can you see
showing your
Nikita in the back of that?
You need a separate one.
Oh yeah, it's like so tiny inside, you know, there's like sitting like that.
And then when the conversation came up about, you know, building a proper vehicle, they realized that Mercedes ML was really the best
Yeah.
vehicle for it.
Because from the Mercedes ML families, this is just one vehicle, actually first vehicle, and the probably last one, which we got. The vehicle got the full frame underneath.
It's not a unibody.
It's
Has
not
a
unibody.
truck frame,
It's full frame.
body on top. So
In
easy
this
to
case
weld
of
through,
road, this is the
Okay.
best. Yeah,
easy to
it's very
modify.
strong. Yeah, easy to
Incredible.
Lots of
modify.
space
You know.
inside.
Yeah,
So how many are there? How many are there Ukraines right now?
A lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
A lot.
Even in the world, the only VR, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5. Only we have 5.
5, and then
United
Mini, we
States.
basically have 6.
Yeah, and Mini 6.
Just Filmotechnic Canada, we have 6.
Filmotechnic.
So are they designed by you guys or and built or
Well, our stuff, yes, Filmotechnic, but there's other companies now that build similar systems.
yeah? But I've seen some of those similar systems.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to
Well,
speak
you know-
ill of the.
I gotta say though, first off, Nikita, you know, if I'm working with other vehicles, which is very rare, I'm usually working with you guys, but I really didn't realize how difficult
Okay,
your
we'll make
job
some
was.
notes. He's working.
But I didn't realize how difficult like what you do is until you work with somebody else who just doesn't have a fucking clue. They say they do, or they think they do, but they don't. Can you describe just what you do and somehow try to describe to people what you're sitting in and all that? Because it is kind of...
Yeah, just explain the configuration of the car itself.
Yeah.
And who does what where in it. Because if anyone that's watching this has never seen either the picture of the car or the car up close, it's incredibly, it's technology from front to back.
Yeah, it's insane, really.
So the way the vehicle is set up, the crane can spin obviously 360. So you can have the crane in the front, you can have the crane in the back, and you have basically 4 people operating the system. You have a driver, you have a crane operator, which is me, you have a remote head operator, which can be Oleksiy or a director of photography,
Right.
and then you have a focus puller. So 4 people have to be in the car. It just doesn't happen any other way.
And then you stick a director in.
And then you stick a director in it. And the way it works is, if the arm is looking out front, then ideally I'd want to be sitting in the front. If the arm's looking in the back, then ideally I'd want to be sitting in the back, because I can see it better.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about, we shoot very close to the vehicles. I mean, sometimes we're just an inch away.
Yeah.
You know, when you want to shoot that badge, we're that close to the vehicle doing 20, 30, 40 kilometers an hour.
Some of the most satisfying stuff for me, anyway, and I imagine for Randy, is
Yeah,
that
and
close.
you guys are probably working with some of the best stunt drivers in the business.
Ha!
Well, they're all, second to you, so.
I just can correct you a little bit, No, this is like not joking, because the situation between the stunt driver and precision driver, it's big difference.
Huge.
Oh, huge.
Huge difference,
Yes.
And actually in a...
and racing driver too.
and
Sometimes
racing
they
driver,
go, oh, he's a racer, oh, he's great. It's like,
Yeah, it's big difference. And in the past, we worked for it was Vancouver area. We worked for the X-Men. We did very simple shot, but behind the steering of the truck, which we started from this like windshield, it was like stunt driver. And the guy said he's top stunt driver from United States. He can do jump, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. And what's happened? This is windshield. And the camera starting from his face, for the driver face, because he's
Nice and
acting
close.
as a very
Okay.
close through the windshield.
Yep.
But the distance was like, I don't know, it's like 10 inches maximum.
Okay.
It's very close. And we have to synchronize movement. Everybody's starting. And after that, our arm go forward, sliding forward, and
Makes
we see
itself away.
whole this convoy.
Into a big
So
wide.
it's like 10 vehicles, different trucks, whatever,
Okay.
But synchronize this movement.
Right.
We did like probably 20 takes.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
this guy, he's really good. I saw after that his stunts, what he did with
Sure.
truck, with everything, But this one, he couldn't do.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's trying to, he's always, it's like horse before a race, they're just starting.
I think the
Slow
stunt
down.
guys,
Keep your speed.
again, not
I agree.
everyone, not to say anything against stunt guys, but I think that a lot of the times it's on the stunt guy. He feels like he has the control. He has to get close to camera, versus a lot of the time when we do stuff and it's more like you hold the speed.
Yeah,
We'll do the move.
sure.
100%.
And I think especially in the earlier days, maybe that it didn't click for some.
But that comes with experience
Absolutely.
between the two of us.
Yeah,
And
two.
that's where he grew into that. In Canada, in our union, we don't have a precision driver category. In the
No.
United States, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I say stunt driver, it's because it's just what
Yeah.
we think about in our
Yeah.
contract, because that's what it is. But I absolutely agree with the precision driving thing. And
It's
some of the
making me
work,
blush, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. No, anyway, yeah, absolutely. Race car drivers always want to win, and
Well, that's the thing.
Absolutely.
just stop. When somebody tells me I've got a race car driver coming, I just did a commercial with a guy who's a race car driver, and I had to teach him how to do a
Bit of a donut.
Well,
a donut.
Remember
the problem
story
is
from Japan?
Yeah, was the racing drivers like, yeah, they just want to go fast. They know the vehicle, they know what it's gonna
Yeah.
do, but that's not the point of a commercial.
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
the biggest difference I find whenever they throw a non-union driver at us or something. It's like, oh, he can drive.
Which is happening a lot these days.
Yeah.
The problem is the guys that we worked with for a while, you don't need to communicate with them every single thing. They just know. You know what looks good on camera. When they want that front 3/4, you're just there.
Yeah.
We don't need to tell you, oh, you got to be here, you hold your speed, and you're just there.
You know,
Plus, drivers supposed to understand each other
When you
without the words.
when we do the slide around and stuff, like you're like exactly what we're doing.
what's funny is Andrew and myself, Blair, Jimmy,
Peter,
well, you guys,
Eddie.
us together, we know we've done more commercials than any director that's ever worked with us.
Yeah,
Hands
And
down.
so I know what a director wants before they even open their mouth,
it's true.
and we do
That's
it.
correct.
We just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is actually what we are talking about, the skills of the precision driver.
Right.
And we got a funny story, Nikita. Remember, we went to Japan for the commercial, and Japanese production, basically the production, this is agency, asked it to use the own driver. He's like
He's
race
the test
driver,
pilot
he's
for that.
test driver. We said, okay, we are fine.
This is
But
the
in a-
job where we took Jim Lytle.
Right.
But in some case, we will bring our driver as well. We brought the Jim Lytle,
Yeah.
and we did lots of shots with Jim Lytle. And the final agency said, no, we want our driver do the same. Okay, go ahead. And
Well, number one, the driver spoke Japanese only. He didn't speak English.
yeah, this
And all crew was American, or we're from
Yeah.
Canada. The director, DP, they're all from States. So
Who
it's like-
speaks Japanese these days?
plus this is race, but this is race driver.
Yeah.
He knows accelerator, push
Yeah, sure.
all the way to the floor and go, banzai.
and
We're never gonna get a race car driver on this show.
and one thing,
Or any person that of a Japanese background.
what they needed was very simple. It was
Jokes,
down the straight
jokes.
line. We had to lock in speed, and then he hammers it.
Yeah.
He couldn't understand that we got to lock in speed before he hammers it. It was just like
He just hammered
okay,
it.
action, gone.
After after the few circles, Mark said, "Okay, I'm done."
Get
Or
Jim
you
in here.
or you change it, the driver back Jim to the vehicle, or I'm done.
Oh, you just couldn't do anything. It was impossible.
Okay, Nikita, we got to get back to what you do.
Sorry.
No. These are
And
hilarious.
yeah, so-
great stories. I love this.
So I switch between the front and the back seat. I basically sit in the trunk.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, my kids just came out to a meltdown show,
Yeah.
and I showed them what I do, and they said, "Oh, Daddy walks in the trunk." I'm like, "Yes." Because I gotta see the crane, because we work super close to the picture vehicle. It stunts, it speeds. I gotta see it, and
I'll show a picture of you. in the
sometimes
bubble.
from the trunk I can see forward. If we're just doing like a simple
Sure.
set 3/4 wide shots, it's okay. I can sit in the trunk, that's fine. But when we're super close, I go up to the front seat because I can't see it very well.
Right.
And I basically have to look 360 because there's trees coming at me and wires and street lights and parked
So how
cars
often-
and just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well.
And then we communicate between me, the driver, the camera operator, and whoever's driving the picture vehicle.
Right.
We're all
and
comms.
and you are you relying at all on a monitor, or are you just eyes out the window?
So I have two monitors. One monitor shows me the back of the arm, so that if I take a high position for the crane, I don't smack the back on the vehicle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when you're with the crane in the vehicle, if you're in line with the vehicle, you have less angle because the car, the roof of the car.
Right.
is
Of
there.
course.
If I
Okay.
go 90, I can take more angle.
Sure.
So I can't limit myself in this position because then I can't get as high in this position. So I have a
Okay.
witness camera that I can see where my back is in relationship to the vehicle.
Right.
And then the other monitor shows me the picture that camera is shooting. But I basically keep one eye on that. Most of my attention is where the arm is physically, because monitor can be very confusing. But number one, we're going forward looking back.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like left and right is
Can you do a full
reversed,
360?
right?
Is that
I
a
can
thing?
do
Oh, yeah.
I can do 3 times
And then you got on.
and then I got on mine
because
cabling the cables through. Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
And then so the other way, then I can do 6.
Right, of
and then
course.
6.
Okay.
But I gotta make sure that I come back to that neutral position. Otherwise, it can hurt.
The most tricky situation when we have to do like 360 around the picture vehicle. This is like
yeah, that's rare. I don't.
Yes, we did
Don't
this
see that
many
a lot.
times, but this
It's
is
cool,
like
but it's not-
actually regarding
Yeah,
the
what's the point?
communication between the
Don't cut it
precision
up anyway.
driver,
Yeah, exactly.
another precision
used-
driver, and crane operator. You know,
Hmm.
this is like like 3 pilots. In the air with 3 aircrafts. And you have to keep the line, you have to keep the height. This is exactly the same situation. No mistakes.
Basically,
no
do
mistake.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
yeah,
So you need 3 lanes.
yeah.
A lot of the
actually-
times they get a one lane road and go.
Yeah.
We're gonna do 360.
Yeah,
Nah.
We've been on a lot of
pretty
roads.
difficult, but it's possible.
We've been on a lot of roads where the director says, "This is what I want." No, you're not.
Did you go out and look at the road? What the?
And especially on the beginning, I trained because I operated the arm in the past as well, and trained the first. Actually, probably in the United States, I was first crane operator. After that, I trained the guys in the United States. After that, in Canada,
Wow.
Nikita, and
Then
other
he
guys,
trained me. I was the first
Yeah.
one in Canada.
And what
Oh wow.
I am telling all the time on the beginning, the potentially crane operators, guys, and the precision driver, guys, you two on a board, like first pilot and the second pilot. You have to understand each other, communicate between each other, even don't communicate but understand each other. Don't worry about the director of photography. Don't worry about the camera operator or agency, whatever, Don't hear these guys.
Well,
If you
here,
can-
but filter.
No, but filter.
Yep.
If you do, you do. If you can't do, don't
Yeah,
worry.
Number one
the-
is
the-
safety.
The only people I listen to are you,
Yeah.
Mark, and maybe the director. And I'll only do what the director says as long as Mark and you let me know that that's what I'm
Absolutely.
doing.
Yeah.
Because the operator lives in the monitor, he has no
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
what's going on.
For example,
The vehicle.
sometimes I'm just operating the head. I see because actually it's another training for the camera operators in the remote systems. If on the beginning I noticed it, like some camera operators just look on the image, look where is camera, look on the image. Okay, stop, do it. Your reference is image. You don't need to understand where is your camera. This is not your business. It's not your work. He has to do this, but
Absolutely.
you have to control. In this case, when I'm watching the image, I need just a little bit, different position, whatever, to go lower. And of course, I asking him, go lower. Only what he can answer me, I can't. That's it. Because, for example, he is a couple inches
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
or whatever, or trees, or posts, or some buggy.
And it
right.
depends on
Whatever.
the road. I can give you that much if we're straight and smooth, but if
And
we're
why
doing that,
Totally.
Why a precision driver supposed to communicate? Because sometimes he's looking back, and the precision driver looking forward, of course, and can see what's going on the road, and he has to communicate and tell, okay, Nikita, some low wires, some branches,
Yeah.
some people on the road. It's like
Yeah,
communication.
It's
100%.
insane. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it because you're bringing back memories because I've done all of that. That's
In this case, it's like training for the crane operators. This is not like, okay, I can operate the joystick, it's fine, Be honest. The good professional crane operator, this approximately 1 year training. I mean, he can really work on a set.
Sure.
But he has to keep experience more.
well.
Plus,
and it's problematic because
no,
it's a
understand.
system that
some-
doesn't work all the time.
Yeah.
See, that goes back to what Andrew said earlier about other cranes. The experience and the skill level of the operator. We've seen some really dangerous things do.
Well, like you said, the communication is insane. I've worked with guys that just don't. They just don't communicate. And then combined with that, they can't drive like Mark does, and they can't operate like you do. It is honestly such a freaking difference. And with you guys, I barely really have to speak. If I'm in front and I am braking, I'm telling Mark I'm braking. If the director needs me to come close, I'm just saying, am I good? Whatever. But with other operators, I'm yelling at them. I swear to God, I'm yelling at them. Tell me when you're fucking braking. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I get these phone calls. He calls me and says, you can't believe what's happening here.
Well, it is nerve-wracking because everyone's trying to do their job, and then when one of the, it's a hell of choreography, and when one piece falls out,
massive.
It's just like
massive.
What people who are doing the hiring don't really understand, and
Absolutely.
is if things go wrong. I mean, there's a driver in the picture vehicle, but there's 5 of you guys in the UCrane.
Yep.
If anything ever went wrong, that's a lot of lives.
Yep.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
I did a job once where I had to drive at this other vehicle, these other crane deals, and I mentioned that we're going to have to come within 10 feet of each other, basically, and I'm going to zip off this way to get the shot that was asked for, and this guy wouldn't come within 30 yards of me, and I don't understand. Like, you have to have the heart of a stuntman driving that car.
Yeah, but now having said that, while I agree with that 100%, and it needs to be worked out that way, after a while, when you've worked with somebody like these guys for so long, I trust these guys with my life.
Absolutely,
like
100%. Yeah, and that's the thing is that when I get on set and I meet somebody that's brand new, and then I see them falter on just some incredibly simple things.
I don't know. And I think that's what maybe productions don't realize. You get more because we can push more. If we have a person that we're comfortable working with, we can push more, and we'll get that shot quicker.
Some of that necessary stuff.
So you're gonna get more.
That used to be like standard
100%.
stuff. Is like, we want the best picture, so hire the best guy. Now it's, we want a picture. Let's hire a guy for a little bit of money.
And the thing is, we had a lot of conversations when the other systems came into town, and we were worried maybe they're gonna cut the prices a lot or whatever. And we sat down and we said, well, once that is happening, we're not the most expensive part of the game, because you need cops, you need permits, you need locations, you need to lock every street. Like, once you're into that game, the difference between that you're gonna save $500 or $1,500 on a less experienced driver or a different car,
I got a problem.
and get a problem, it's better that you only have to lock the street for an hour and then walk away from it.
Yeah, well,
you're guaranteed to get that shot.
There's other currency in terms of time, efficiency, safety, etc.
When you hire
you can't do this on a low budget. It doesn't work. Like, there's no low budget game when you come to camera cars. Like, it's gonna be expensive.
Both sides of this table. I'll tell you, you hire both sides of this table, and your shots, you're gonna get everything you need very efficiently, because both of us know how to go back to first after. We know what the job is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you guys do. When we go back to first positions, the two of us,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it's like ballet. It's so. I've said this on a number of podcasts. I'm going to say it again for anyone that's listening. That's in a hiring position. There's a young lady in the United States right now, probably going to prison for 18 months for leaving a gun on set.
Yeah.
And Alec Baldwin shooting the DP. Massive mistake. But this was her second movie, and I don't fault her. She needs work like everybody else. But who didn't vet this person? And when shit goes down, somebody's going to prison.
Yep.
And when you're driving at 80, 90 miles an hour with the UCrane, and one of us or one of our colleagues inches again from the mat box,
Yeah.
and shit goes down, and you hired the wrong guy in that car, or you hired the wrong team in that crane car,
Yeah. I mean,
what a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
big time.
smarten up.
Yep. Not to mention, a lot of the time there's public on.
Oh,
On the
oh my God.
I saw.
I mean, the amount of time people just cross the road when we're about to go.
Oh, man.
Just because you have pay duty cops on corners doesn't mean that the public isn't coming out of a building
Yeah.
with headphones on, looking at
In
their phone.
yeah.
Yeah, how thankful are you that Mark's in that driver's seat yelling at everybody that
Oh, yeah.
walks across the
Yeah.
fucking road, man?
Yeah, I gotta say, some people get upset, but I'm like, he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's got to
Yeah.
make sure that it's safe.
Absolutely.
Yo, the last
You
thing
know.
he needs is a problem.
Like sometimes we have a cop in front, in the back, on the side, and the taxi driver will cut in.
Yeah, a rolling lock off.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't see the big thing with the camera and cops around it?
Now,
Like,
if I was a cab driver, I personally would be like, go
Yeah.
fuck you.
On the
and people
beginning
do
of
that
this,
in Toronto too. They get very upset when we lock the
on the
road.
beginning of this business, when we started even in the United States, and after that we got like some kind of competitors, like Ultimate Arm, whatever, I proposed many times. Probably it's difficult, but probably it's not difficult, to create some kind of, let's say, union, whatever, and do some training for like crane operators and precision drivers and certify these guys. In this case, the production, it's actually even save the production, because if a production hired non-certified person and they got some problems on the set, okay, guys, this was your decision.
That's correct.
Because the
Yeah.
problem is with
Yeah.
a lot of the cheaper systems these days.
It's like driver, you can drive. You can drive, but if something happened without the driver's license, you never got the driver's license.
Sure.
You can't operate the vehicle. You can drive, but you don't have license. Basically, and you hit somebody or something, and the police stop and start investigation. Who are you guys? Where is your driver's license? Oh, I don't have. You don't have. Welcome.
Because the problem is these systems you can just buy. Like, when
Absolutely.
our systems came with training. Like, I started as well from nothing, but I had Oleksiy.
But what's
he
inter-
trained me and Mark.
What's interesting about this, though, you guys,
But these, just cheaper versions, you just order one, it comes in, and you just figure it out. It's like, that's not what.
but see that
It's
Shouldn't
not.
figure this out.
Yeah,
This
but
is like
they would
easy
order
training.
it, and then they'd go, oh, well, we're way over our heads.
Yeah, but see, that's interesting, because what that person's done, they'll hire, they just go on Amazon and they buy a crane. I don't know where you get it.
Yeah.
They're going to go on Amazon. It's delivered by Friday. They're going to put it on their car, and then he's going to say, okay, I'll drive the first time, but I don't really do that. So I'm going to hire a driver. So that driver comes in and he sits in that car, and then he goes down a highway with a precision driver, non-union, whoever this person is. Then that person who's driving that car, because he's not fully employed with that company and getting commercials every week and raising his family with that money and paying his mortgage with that money, he's going to quit. And then they get another one. And then they get another one. Then they get another one. So that driver of that car is new almost every time.
Yeah. And the crane up and
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
it's
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, speaking of a lack of communication, I gotta say, communication between me and you guys is getting tighter every time. But what's with some of the newer directors and cinematographers and whoever's calling some of the shots? I feel personally like there's more people in my headphones now, my headset, and and is there something different going on? Am I crazy?
I think there's
'Cause-
a lot of younger directors now that not necessarily have,
Experience.
maybe don't have experience, or maybe they come. See, this sort of equipment, even just stabilized heads, back in the day was one of a kind. Now this stuff exists everywhere,
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon.
pretty much.
Okay.
So I think the level of respect to this system has decreased. And before, a young director, a young DP would basically come to people that had a lot of experience and sort of can show them and teach them. But now they sort of come from like music videos where they used it for like 10 years, legally, who knows?
That's correct. Or college, and they've used it all. College.
and then they ask you for stuff that you're like, well, no, we're not doing it. Sorry, that's not, that's not. It's not that it's not possible. It's not safe. And they get upset, and there's, again, the level of communication is different because either they can't explain it properly, or they want to over-explain it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I think I know the job you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's fairly recently. We're not gonna name,
but
but it was.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, it's just there was a time when I felt like it was just me and Mark.
And they're getting upset they're not getting the right thing, but they can't explain it, and they don't understand the limitations of the spot they chose to shoot at.
A director's job is to communicate.
Exactly.
And if he cannot express his dream to you in language that you can, give it to him, sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to understand how I'm going to do the shot. Just explain me what you want to see.
Well, that goes back to what Oleksiy said.
Yeah.
Look at the monitor. It's not up to you to decide where that camera is.
Yeah, because each time, even when somebody's supposed to book our equipment, right now Mark doing this one. On the beginning, okay, we got the job, blah blah blah. It's like I asked Mark many times, guys, when somebody called you, for example, if they're calling like production manager, probably production manager doesn't have like enough knowledge what it's supposed to be done with this equipment, just ask to give contact with DP, director, the people who is creating the shots. And we have to understand what they gonna shoot, what kind of equipment they need, because sometimes people calling, because it's fancy equipment, and probably they don't need this equipment at all. Probably they need a different equipment,
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
As soon as I understand this shot, I can tell you guys, sorry, we are really happy to get the money, but it's not our job, You need to book something else,
Yeah.
But it's very important to understand before you come on the set, because if you come on the set and the people, I want to do this one, sorry, but or sometimes we just they booking us, the crane, the UCrane. I'm not talking even on the regular telescope. It's just UCrane.
Right.
To get like top points, they need a top point for the camera. Come on, it's just spend this money, they
Totally.
Keep the.
Sometimes
the
it's just efficient to do it that way, but.
No, it's a different question. For example, if they actually experienced producers which work already before with our equipment, they understand. Like one producer said, guys, I know you're really nice. You're very expensive tripod for the camera. But basically, he is right, because we're doing like some driving shots. We're doing crane shots. We're doing like dolly shots.
Yep.
We're doing just still camera, just points. That's it. And instead they order like regular telescope, dolly, I don't know, it's like whatever, it's probably this equipment a little bit more expensive, but it's one piece of equipment which can cover all needs.
You can lay track all you want.
Yeah.
And get a dolly grip and put it there, and then put it there.
Yeah.
Put it over here.
Yeah.
Or you can have Mark sit here, back up over there, and come across the street.
Especially when it's intermittent lockup and you can have track there.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get in there.
Incredibly efficient.
Absolutely.
Away.
That's the truth.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a question about the how equipment was designed for. Actually, on the beginning, it was like a stupid idea, but as soon as we keep
Not stupid, but crazy.
a crazy idea. Yeah, we keep our experience. We understood. Yeah, this definitely makes sense to get this equipment. On the set, and I understand as a director of photography. And of course Anatoly understood what we need, like what the like production need, what the camera guys need. And together we just created this equipment step by step.
Well, it's incredible. And you won an Academy Award for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
insane.
we nominated, and actually we got this award for. It's like probably even something there, like for inventing and developing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys should get another award for continuing to be the top of the game, man.
This is for the concept and development
Concept. Yeah.
of the Russian armed gyro stabilized camera crane
Yes, at that
and,
point it was still
and the
Russian.
flight head.
And the fly head. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the fly head.
Well, no, incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. Wow. Whoops.
Oops.
I'm going to break it.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
You break the mic. That thing's heavy, man.
Just a minute. Speaking of fabulous,
Yeah.
and I have to say
Nikita's
this.
hair. Yeah.
Does anybody want any more of this?
Well, I gotta drive, so I'm
I
okay.
still have a little bit.
I just got to drive my lady crazy today. So
Yeah, I'm just. It's just incredibly tasty.
Alexei's not driving.
No.
No.
No, but he's still.
And for some reason he's behind.
Yeah, he's
so-
the amateur here. What
I
the
do
hell's
want to
going on?
offer to Blair. He's in there. If he wants it, he'll come out.
He's already
Little
passed
bit of
out
it.
over there.
Well, this is incredible.
So hey, speaking of design, we were just at your Meltdown show, which we have an edit coming later where we interviewed all kinds of people, all kinds of inventors and innovators and all this in the film industry. Where is your tech going? Do you have a vision of it, like a 5 or 10 year out, where this? Because obviously, over the years, you've refined it, and we just talked about some history where it's refined.
It's hard to believe it could get any better.
Yeah, it is. And do you
Right
see it?
now, the company is really focused on surviving because obviously the company is in Ukraine, and getting
Okay.
things in and out is difficult. And most of the people left. Either they got drafted, or
Yeah.
they took the family out of Ukraine. So they continue to innovate, but it's hard to say what the future is. A little.
Well, what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah. What's happening there? If you want to go there.
Well, it's up to you, I guess.
No. It's,
Oh, bring it. Why not?
Well, I guess what's the biggest question? What's happening is the war is happening. Last night, it was 150 missiles and drones that hit Ukraine.
Yeah.
That was overnight.
Jesus, man.
I saw that this morning.
They went
Yeah.
mostly after the electrical grid. They hit another dam on the Dnieper River. Thankfully, it stands, so no flood. But it was another very difficult night. And this is just something that they have to deal with. People at the factory, they continue to make the stuff, and they
Yeah.
gotta,
So
The factory still works. It still works.
it's
the
at
people
lower
still work.
capacity. They moved some stuff to Poland, but you can move the. Anatoly, about 5 or 6 years ago, finished a purpose-built building next to Kiev, just north of Kiev. He had 300 employees before the war there. Now there's probably maybe 100.
for building,
Like he built a purpose-built building as a factory to make the stuff.
wow.
Like
Yeah.
CNC.
And
I can send
They
you
have-
the
they-
picture.
Yeah, that's
They have
incredible.
Very
all,
big
all your stuff
factory.
gets shipped over
Big
then,
factory.
obviously.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
we
happens.
do small modifications here, repairs,
Sure.
adaptations. We build the vehicle here, but the main tech still comes from Ukraine.
Okay.
But we started the company as a like field test company as well, because we got the experience. We just doing some feedback to the factory. I'm talking with engineers all the time, this is good, this is not good, you have to fix this one, you know, because this is like information comes not from the from the heaven, it's like from the real set.
Yeah, you're actually.
Yeah.
It's practical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's practical. It's practical. This equipment work or this equipment doesn't work.
Right.
Work good or not good. What's supposed to be changed to make everything better, you know? Yeah.
Like, right now they're going to NAB to present a new device they made. They call it the Dinoscope.
Dinoscope, yeah.
It's amazing that even during the time of war, they're still inventing and making new stuff. You know, so
Yeah.
That is.
Well, I suppose life doesn't stop, but it's incredibly disturbing.
Is there anything that you'd want to say for those who either maybe don't understand what's going on?
Well, I was
'Cause
just
there's a bit of a partition around.
Can you? I'm looking for some history. Can you give us history? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening and what's.
It's hard to tell with Canadian propaganda, with U.S. propaganda, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard to tell what's going on, what's really going on.
So it all started back in 2014. We had this president, Yanukovych, that we weren't particularly happy with him, but whatever. But he promised to sign a deal with the European Union. It was cool. It's not. We weren't entering European Union. It was an association with the European Union,
Okay.
which would open the trade for us with the European Union.
Okay.
Big money. What it would also do is we would have to lower corruption, because now we have to deal with the European Union, you know, fix the customs, like border customs, work on a lot of the laws and, you know, the economy. So it has to be more civilized, let's say. And it was like, well, fine, we don't like the president, but if he signs, and, you know, there's no other way than for Ukraine with the European, we are gonna get better just because the market opened up and we gotta fix all these things. People were like, okay, fine. And he promised it. Like, he said, yes, I'm signing it. He went to Brussels, and, you know, it was all ready. Like, everyone was ready to sign, and he didn't sign it, and he went to Moscow. He went to Moscow and signed a deal with them. And, you know, basically at that point it was students. They came out, and we have a main square in Kiev where sort of people gather when they're unhappy. And, you know, they called it the Euromaidan. Basically the whole protest was, well, sign the deal. Stay in power, fine, but sign the deal. And he just would not. And after about 2 weeks of these students being there, they camped basically on this main square. They called in the police, and it was a brutal, you know, way of dispersing the protest. And people got hurt. They didn't get killed, but people got really hurt. And this is the biggest difference between Ukraine and Russia. Ukrainians really value their freedom. Because in a lot of ways we're very similar with Russians. We speak similar language. A lot of Ukrainians speak Russian.
Sure.
Our economies are very similar. Our laws are very similar. I mean, we did used to be a Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no going back from that. And but Ukrainians, through the centuries, even if you look back into 16th century, the freedom was a number one value for Ukrainians. So when these cops beat down the students, what happened next day is all of Kiev came out with, you know, probably several.
fuck you.
Protest against the cop.
Yeah, they all came out and said, "Fuck off." Like, this is not gonna stand here. We've been sick with it before, and this is just, you can't do this. The fear of Ukrainians at that point we basically remained the only functional democracy, let's say, out of all post-Soviet Union countries. Because in Russia, there was only 2 presidents. Belarus had Lukashenko at that point for like 24
Forever.
years. He's like a forever dictator. Same in Kazakhstan, same in all these other countries. We, by that point, had 5 presidents elected.
Okay, so it's a
Like, it was
a true
functional.
yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
was it corrupt? Yes. But it was fun. Like, we had different presidents from different...
They're all corrupt.
From different... Exactly, they're all corrupt.
They're all corrupt.
From different sides, from the eastern, from the western Ukraine, from
All countries
central
got the
Ukraine.
corruption, there's like, if the people
You know.
telling, oh, it's no corruption in United States and Canada.
Oh, that would be
Bullshit.
ridiculous.
And
yeah.
and at that point, when all this stuff happened in 2014, the biggest worry from people was, well, we don't want to be like Belarus. We don't want to have this one dictator that's gonna bend down to Moscow and everything's just gonna go downhill. It wasn't. Nobody hated Russians or anything like that. At that point, Russia was not even in the picture. Just like, no, we want Ukraine to be with the European Union. This is the way forward. We don't see going any other way because this is where the market is. This is where the money is. This is and as all this happening, and now people are like, no, this president is out. Like, fuck off. Like, we're gonna stay here until he goes away. And he did run away eventually. It took probably a month or something of protests
Yeah.
and fights with the police, and 100 people died. They got shot by the police.
Jesus.
Man.
And that's at that point when Putin invades Crimea, right? And grabs it and says, oh, we had a referendum there. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Referendum with guns is not exactly a referendum. On top of that is, you can't have a referendum in one small. It's kind of like you have a referendum in Kitchener and it decides to like be its own thing.
Right.
Well, it's either the whole country decides or that doesn't work any other way. Plus, on
Totally.
top of it is like, well, it's one thing when it's like, if Germany was still part of, Austro-Hungarian Empire and Germans said, you know what, we want to be our own country. That's one thing. But Crimea, the only people really that could say that were the Tatars, which is the native population of Crimea. But Russians holding a referendum that they want to be on their own, like, there's Russia, go to Russia. Like, what's the problem? And then after Crimea, they go to... And at the point where they invade Crimea, like, Ukraine's a mess. We were in the process of new government coming in, like, they tried to order the troops to sort of, intervene and do something, but it just didn't work. Nobody knew what the hell's going on. So Crimea just falls off, fine. Then they go to Donbass. This is where Ukraine managed by that point to mount some sort of resistance. Right, and the story was the same. Oh, these people's republics they want to be on their own, and this is not new, so that you understand. In 1939, when Russia invades Finland, Soviet Union, they had a People's Republic (FNR), which were basically the commies from Finland, sponsored by the Soviets, that said, "Oh yeah, like we want to have a Finnish, communist republic." And they invaded Finland, and then there was Transnistria in Moldova in 1990. If you don't know, Transnistria is a strip of land between Ukraine and Moldova.
Okay.
And in 1990, Moldova became independent when Soviet Union was falling apart. Same thing. All of a sudden, some people were like, "Oh yeah, we're on our own," and it's always Democratic National Republic, Democratic.
Yeah.
And the Russian peacekeepers are still there.
Main idea, the Putin's
and
idea.
they keep creating these little, entrance points.
Yeah.
And then once they created that, they said, well, now we have to protect these people because Ukrainians are trying to invade their land. It was like, no, it's our land. We just want to kick them, the bandits out. And the people they place on top of these Lugansk and Donetsk Republic are from Russia. They're not even locals. You know, so to say that it's local population revolting, it's like, well, but the guy that you have, like your number one guy, your number two guy, and your number three guy are out of Russia. They're not from Ukraine.
The idea came probably from the elders, like in Putin's head, in Putin's mind, because his idea recreate the Soviet Union, create the huge empire back, you know, like was Soviet Union. This is his main idea.
I think this is his way of staying in power.
Yeah.
Because because Belarus already under full Russian control. And he saw that if Ukraine turns to European Union, they're going to be somewhat successful. And that's going to threaten his rule.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And that was his sort of hold on Ukraine. It's like, no, at that point, like going to NATO is not even a question. So that you understand, in early 2000s, there was a poll of, and it was done in Russia and in Ukraine about, joining NATO. Ukraine had about 20% support of NATO in the population. We didn't want to go there. We didn't feel threatened. In Russia, there was higher support about joining NATO than in Ukraine. So this whole conversation, Russia is scared of NATO, is a bunch of bullshit. If you look at the map, Russia borders Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, now Finland. That's all NATO. US on the other side, and Japan.
Sweden, actually.
And somehow Ukraine over here is the problem. That's never going to be, had no chance of joining NATO. So this whole, it's the NATO's fault, is bullshit. NATO had, in 1992, NATO delivered 26,000 tons of food to Russia because people were starving. When Soviet Union fell apart, everything fell apart. Then Yugoslavia, Russia votes with NATO. Right? There was a conflict there. Croatia, Albania, Serbia. Iraq, first Afghanistan, Russia votes with NATO. They provide their territory to transport stuff into Afghanistan. There's interviews of Putin saying, of course we support NATO. We want to work closer with them.
Yeah.
Up until roughly 2011, when there was big protests in Russia and a lot of people got arrested, there was the switch between Medvedev and Putin. Putin was coming back into power. That's where his rhetoric changed. And in 2014, Ukraine and Crimea happened. Right? And then he just pushed it and pushed it and pushed it and raised stakes. And in 2022, at that point, either they called your bluff and you look like an idiot, or you gotta go in. Because he kept the borders, on the borders of Ukraine, he kept thousands of troops for like several months. They were there. And it was like, well, are they bluffing? Are they gonna go in? Like, it seems crazy to go into the whole country when we really only have a conflict over here. And then they didn't go in. And what people, I think, don't know is that in 1994, Ukraine signed it's called the Budapest Memorandum. What happened after the fall of Soviet Union, the Soviet Union didn't leave us any food, but they did leave us with the biggest stockpile of nuclear weapons in Europe.
Wow.
Ukraine had a massive stockpile of nuclear weapons. Strategic bombers, we had 2 million standing army, tanks, artillery, we had a fucking shitload. And in 1994, we signed an agreement between Ukraine, states, France, Germany, UK, later China joined, and Russia. And the agreement guaranteed the sovereignty of Ukraine in internationally recognized borders by all these countries if we give up the nukes. So we gave up the nukes in return for this, thank you note.
Holy.
The strategic bombers that today are bombing us, we gave them back to Russia. And then we dismantled the military systematically, according to that. And then when
Ukraine got scammed.
Yes, and when today people say, well, who cares about Ukraine? Well, if say tomorrow there's a change in North Korea and it becomes more democratic and you want to maybe take the nukes away from them just in case, think about that memorandum that Ukraine signed. How many countries will be willing to give up their nukes now if you don't support Ukraine? You know what I mean?
It's a massive lesson to learn.
Yeah. And that's why when people ask, well, who cares about Ukraine? You should. It is a part of the bigger picture. It is a land size. It's the biggest country in Europe if you don't count Russia.
Right.
Massive population, number 3 exporter of grain, top exporter of like metals and all kinds of stuff. You know.
Biggest for Ukraine.
Hmm?
The biggest for Ukraine.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. For the Ukraine arm. Sorry, I guess
Yeah.
we're talking about a country and
listen.
a fucking.
No, I was going to go there too.
Yeah, I know.
Believe me.
And I think I know there's a lot of disinformation and opinions.
Well, people
and
have
this
a
and
hard
that.
time figuring out what to believe right now.
I think belief is the right word. I think we need to go back and realize that this whole system is based on a belief. The biggest difference between Western world and the rest of the world is one thing: value of life. And you can laugh at that now because of all the crap that's going on. But really, the West realized at some point that value of life is important because a human is creative. They make stuff, they invent stuff, they pay taxes, they make the economy work, they buy stuff. And to maximize the efficiency of that, you gotta give them freedom of market, freedom of enterprise, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and they're just gonna create, and we're gonna make money, and it's gonna be great. And this is the biggest and the only, as far as I'm concerned, the only difference between the Western world where things worked, and we ended up with good stuff here, and the rest of the world where they just don't give a shit about population. They just, Russia spent the last 3 months 40,000 troops to take over a city of about 20,000 people before the war. It's a bunch of fucking rubble. And they spent 40,000 troops to take that city. They don't care about life. Stalin never did. None of those countries, Same in Iran. Same in all these countries, The top does not care. Same in China. They don't care about the people. They have 1 billion of them. The biggest difference is that the West does care about people because people they have value. And we have to look at that value, to look what the West is to us. Because out of this value comes all the main freedoms. Freedom of protest, freedom of speech, freedom of market.
But even we're struggling with all that today.
Right. And it comes down to belief. Because the only way the system works if people believe. The money on your phone that are electronic, you gotta believe it.
Yeah.
You gotta believe that it's there, and I have to believe it to take that money from you to sell you something. Same with the laws. You have to believe that. As soon as you erode that system of beliefs, nothing matters. That's how the Soviet Union fell apart. Nobody believed anymore. The top didn't believe and the bottom didn't believe, and it just fell apart. US analytics in the 80s said the Soviet Union is going to last for another 30 years, and then it just fell apart. Why? Nobody believed anymore. In the 90s, there was no proper currency. We had coupons.
Yeah.
And the coupons today this is worth 5,000 coupons today. Tomorrow it's worth 10,000 coupons tomorrow. And then it's 15,000 coupons. Because nobody believed in that piece of paper. Things were traded, if anything was serious, like apartment, car, it was traded in US dollars. Like listed in US dollars. And everyone was trading in cash because nobody believed the banks. Because when Soviet Union fell apart, there was only one bank, state-owned. And everybody's money was in that bank. When it fell apart, all the money went away. There was nothing left. So
everybody lost the money.
People never put money. If you saw someone in the 90s that put in one of those new banks' money, you said, stupid. Once the system of beliefs falls, everything falls. And that's the problem in the West today, is that the system of beliefs is falling. We don't believe the government. We don't believe the World Health Organization.
It's the truth.
We don't want to believe the cops after they arrest kids playing hockey on a frozen lake. You know, not all cops, but
Right.
like, we see systems failing.
Well, that's the thing. And as soon as somebody like our quote unquote failing leader starts, he says one thing, we're like, nope. He says another thing, nope. As soon as he says Ukraine, we go, nope.
And that's the problem. And then what do you believe now? You know, what are you left with? What's there? What's left to believe? To be like, yeah, no, that's the truth. You don't know anymore.
No.
We have to revisit our basic values on which everything was built. Otherwise, it's all gonna fall apart, because we get too focused on the details. Well, but he said and this. No. Look back at the foundation.
But
what is the foundation?
Yeah.
The freedom is the foundation. Like when we talk about the Freedom Convoy, you don't have to agree with the Freedom Convoy, but their right to protest is a fundamental freedom.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. And that was my issue was the guy that you had on.
Yeah. With Tommy.
He took it in all kinds of directions. And Ukraine is the enemy, and Russia is looking after their own people. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, stick to the core of the problem. The core of the problem is that whether you agree with the Freedom Convoy or you don't, they had the right to be there. If someone was doing something like breaking windows or something, that person should be arrested. I had friends that went to Freedom Convoy and they, cooked barbecue for people.
Yeah, my sister was there. Like,
it was
the whole,
it was
almost
very
the whole
civilized.
time. Yeah, it was very
You know?
civilized. The biggest problem was the honking and for whatever babies and
and the biggest
businesses.
problem was that the leader. You know what? I don't care what you believe as a leader. If you have people that gathered on the Parliament Hill, you should come out and talk to them.
That's 100%.
No, run away.
But see, you a lot like us. I mean, question every friggin' thing that's out there. But this whole mis and disinformation, I don't even like saying those frickin' words because it's become like a fad. But that whole thing, I mean, this is kind of where it stems from. See, I kind of agree with you. Like when Tom came out, he said a lot of things, and whether I agreed or disagreed, I felt like I was more taking in information and learning and whatever. But as soon as he says something, and a friend of mine knows more about the situation, they call him out. There's nothing else that anyone's calling out, but I'm sure that there's somebody else that knows something about a different subject matter that he touched on that would then call him out on that.
And that's the thing, and that's why I say you gotta stick to the initial values, like the core values, the core beliefs, because if we start nitpicking the details, like with the NATO, but
we all end up wrong,
they
just saying the wrong shit.
They brought in this country, and they were here, and now they're over here.
Yeah.
But look at the values. NATO is a defensive alliance. Who was NATO gonna attack? Look at the main points. Where's all the Russian troops in Ukraine? They're not on the border of NATO.
Yeah.
What does that mean? They're not afraid of NATO invading. They know they're not going to invade. Where's the Russian money? In Germany, in England, in France, in States. Where's their relatives? Where's their mistresses? Where's their daughters? Where's their, sons? They're all studying in England or America.
Totally.
They all have businesses here. The money is here. Their wives are here. Their relatives are here. Their moms are here. And you think they're gonna attack NATO, or they think NATO's gonna attack Russia? It's bullshit. It's all about keeping Ukraine under control. And whatever the rest is around Russia, so that he can reinforce his regime. And anytime we go into little nitpicking details, like whether it's the Freedom Convoy or the Ukraine or the all the other difficult situations, like Israel and Palestine, very difficult. For someone who's not there, very difficult.
Totally.
I always say, look at the core values, look at the main trends. I care about Palestinian people, but I don't think Hamas is good for Palestinian people. You know, when they say, "Oh, you're not pro-Palestine," I am pro-Palestine. I just don't think Hamas is good for them. And I'm not saying Israel is completely 100% right. Nobody's ever 100% right. You know, but you gotta look at the core, the foundations.
But I'm the type of person that keeps my head out of this shit. I used to share some things because they were popular and whatever. And I look back and I go, what the fuck am I doing? I literally don't know anything about any of this shit. And I see people sharing stuff constantly, and I constantly have a judgmental reaction.
Media,
I'm like, why?
So
why? What do you really fucking know? Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
You don't. But in the end of the day, you have to, like I said, stick to your core values. Like, if you believe in freedom of speech, it doesn't matter if you disagree with whoever is speaking up.
Yeah.
You should defend their right to speak up, because that's how it's supposed.
Absolutely.
How we supposed to trust the science now?
I do agree.
Or the doctors,
That's for sure.
or the politicians, or the economists. You know,
the world supposed
Where's
to
the
understand
debate?
very simple thing. If, for example, in some reason, in some negotiation, whatever, Russia will win, it will be
Poland's
end of the world, because it means what Russia win. Ukraine lose this territory, change the borders and everything. What happens tomorrow? For example, Mexico can fight the United States, take California, take Texas, make some referendum there and go.
Well,
everybody's supposed to understand, very simple.
let's say Ukraine falls, right? That's right now. There's about 20 million remaining people in there. So probably out of them, there's at least 1 million, 2 million that can serve in the army. If Ukraine falls, you bet your ass Russia will make them join.
Absolutely.
Whether they're pro-Russian or not pro-Russian, they'll force them into it, because that's what happened in all the occupied territories. They made the people join. If you're able, you got arms and legs, they'll make you join.
Join the army.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? Russia, if Ukraine falls, they're going to gain at least another 1 million to 2 million soldiers, troops,
Jesus.
Yeah.
and military equipment capabilities, because we have factories and everything else. I'm not saying Ukraine wants to join Russia. Fuck no. But once they get occupied, they will be forced into that position. Transnistria, like we talked about, that's already an in. Moldova is next, 100%. They already have Russian troops there. They've been there since the 90s.
Moldova's small too.
Moldova is
So
very small, and they're not NATO.
But
Right.
Baltics, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Finland, that cuts off Russia from the Baltic Sea, which is very important to them. And Latvia is tiny. By the time NATO turns around and gets there, it'll be already occupied. And there's a lot of Russian-speaking people in Latvia and Riga. Riga is
yeah,
predominantly Russian-speaking.
the most population.
And they
in
need the
Riga,
Baltic Sea.
Russian population.
So, and then, so they go in. It'll take them a couple days. Like, Latvia is tiny. So then, NATO's gonna come and be like, well, but, it's NATO. And Russia's gonna be like, but the nukes.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be like,
Wow.
well, they already occupied them.
It's a big mistake if the people thinking,
Right?
this is just Ukraine, is something
Because
going
they keep
on
saying,
there.
like,
It's
but,
big
but
mistake.
Russia has the nukes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but how?
This is big problem
how
for all world,
How far are you gonna
all countries.
be backing down? And I mean, fuck yeah, it's scary. But at the same time, like we talked about, if all their money, wives and children are in the West, you think they're gonna nuke it? I don't think so.
Well,
and then so let's say Latvia falls. That's already a NATO country. Lithuania is right there, right? Then the NATO is gonna be in big fucking trouble. And then who's not to say that Russia decides, you know what? Because they're right there in the Arctic, and they take a little piece of northern territories because they have oil there. There's nothing there. It's very easy for them to get in there. Canada's military capabilities are so. Are you 200% sure that after US doesn't help Latvia, doesn't help Moldova, doesn't help Ukraine, that they gonna go in and
Help Canada?
and help here?
Yeah.
Are we 200% sure after all that? And Russia's gonna be like, we got nukes. They're gonna be like, well, guys, but
north
nobody
of
lives
Canada.
there anyway. Like, what do you care? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then where do we stop? At some point, the West, and fuck yeah, it's scary. But we let them come to this point by forgiving Putin Georgia in 2008, forgiving Putin Crimea, forgiving Putin Syria, Donbass, now Ukraine. What else are we gonna forgive? He's gonna come to your doorstep, to our doorstep. And who is in the allegiance? Russia, China, Iran, right? And everybody says China is the big problem. Well, Russia is right there. If they have it easy in Ukraine, then they can help Russia or China more, right? Or vice versa. So it's not just Ukraine. When we say like, who cares about Ukraine? Don't send money. Number one, it's not just the money that goes there. It's the equipment that goes there. When we say Canada sent $3 billion there, they didn't send cash. They sent equipment. Most of that equipment is used equipment that you have to dismantle anyway to buy new equipment. So we're doing basically Canada a favor by destroying it on the bad battlefield.
We're selling them the military surplus.
Yeah,
Pretty much. And then Canadian company got the business for the next stuff that replaces it anyway.
Well, this has ruined my day.
And so, sorry. And then, we talk about the scary military-industrial complex. Well, right now, and everybody knows that it's been in New York Times and Washington Post, Russia is producing 7-1 ammunitions. Russia against all of the West, they're producing 7-1. Europe promised Ukraine in 2023 a million 155 millimeter shells. They delivered 300,000. That's it. They couldn't deliver more. They just couldn't produce more.
Right.
North Korea delivered 1 million to Russia. And then we talk about like, the scary military-industrial complex. As far as I'm concerned, I think it doesn't exist. It fell apart. It's maybe somewhere on the Wall Street Stock Exchange somewhere as a number, but they don't seem to make stuff. From what I understand, they still owe like 20 billion in equipment to Taiwan that Taiwan prepaid. They just can't deliver because delays. That's reality of today. So to say that the military-industrial complex wants the war with Russia, it's like they're not ready. I don't think they want it. They were making money even before that. And the problem is they can't keep up. One Russia can make more than all of the NATO countries together. 7-1 munitions.
Jeez, man.
It's a problem.
Reality check.
This vodka's really good.
No, man, but you've really done your homework. Jesus.
We've been living every day since 2014.
Of course, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a decent question, but is everybody back home
okay?
Yeah.
Family wise?
Like our relatives are like my grandma was here. She just died recently. And grandpa was here too. Like my cousin is in Germany. Her mom is in Germany. So our side we're okay, but there's a lot of friends.
Sure,
yeah,
of course.
Oh my God.
And everyone from Filmotechnic,
Yeah, it's devastating.
And Anatoly goes back in and out because he can't stay there for.
Is it easy to come in and out?
Well, you have to land in Poland, so you can't fly into Ukraine.
Okay.
And then you have to take a train or a bus.
Now, why can't you fly into Ukraine? It's like
gonna get shut down.
Closed.
It's closed.
The airspace.
Airspace is closed.
Because if you fly an airplane over Ukraine, somebody's going to hit it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, plus we get missile attacks almost every day.
Yes.
Either drones or missiles from Russia, and we attack them back as well.
Sure.
It's war. So yeah, you can't fly.
So you have to fly into Poland, and then what? You drive like you
train or drive.
Train.
Drive.
You can walk if you're an idiot.
Well, you can walk, but it's going to take you a while.
It's a while. Yeah.
Or Poland, or like Czech Republic, or
Hungary, Turkey.
Yeah.
Well, Turkey is going to be difficult because
it's a little bit more complicated.
Swim across.
Yeah. Romania. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there any plan to move the factory or the
Can't move.
warehouse.
Can't. It's very
They moved
big.
whatever
It's
they
really
could,
It's
but
crazy, eh?
you can't move the factory. It's massive.
Because they moved partially on the beginning when everything started in 2022. He loaded, I think it's 15 or something, 20 trailers loaded with equipment. It's everything. And the first they moved to west of the Ukraine. And after that, as soon as, because you know this, on the first month was really dangerous. The Russian troops was very close to Kiev, to the capital of the Ukraine. And of course,
They stopped a couple kilometers
Yeah.
away from factory.
from the
Like
factory,
when we're
yeah.
like first months when we were looking at it, we're like
But
Oh my.
they couldn't evacuate the machines because they have like right now probably 15 or 20, I don't remember exactly.
CNC machines, big mills,
It's huge, it's big, you know. It's impossible to
autoclave where you bake the carbon fiber.
autoclave the big the
Thing is
yeah.
massive.
And after that, step by step, they return some stuff back to the factory as soon as the Russians
Backed
was
off a bit.
back up, you know. And but in the same time, in a parallel, they set it up like some branch in Poland. You know, some people working in Poland, doing some like testing, adjustment for the.
Well, plus they
equipment,
moved
yeah.
all the rental department.
A rental department in
Because
Poland. right
Filmotechnic
now.
in Ukraine, they owned movie birds and techno cranes and
Yeah.
like other
okay.
stuff as well. So
Yeah.
there was Filmotechnic equipment and other equipment.
Sure, so they could rent to various film companies.
Yeah.
So they moved all that because obviously there's no rental market there. So they moved all that to Poland.
So here's before the war, making movies in Russia. Let's say they're shooting a feature in Moscow. Would they rent
Yeah.
from Filmotechnic?
Yeah.
We had a branch there in Moscow.
We got a branch in Moscow as well.
He spent a lot. Like when Soviet Union fell apart, the money was in Moscow in concerts. I think it was the money laundering machine for
Sure.
them.
Yeah.
Because it made no sense why the concerts were like that good. Like there was like, you know, like I said, NATO was flying 26,000 tons of food for people to eat, but they had concerts like Michael Jackson over there.
Okay.
And there was no movie business because movies in Soviet Union were all like it came down from like
Satellite.
no from the party. Like
Oh,
what- like,
I see what you're
like you don't sell like there's no producer. You don't sell a movie. It gets approved by the state,
Produced by the state.
produced by the state, you know, and then sort of distributed by the state.
Right.
So once that fell apart, it's like, oh, what do you do? So movies were like early 90s non-existent. And the concerts in Russia were huge, big money. So they set up a branch there in Moscow, and we had the cranes and heads there, and he spent a lot of time in Moscow.
Yeah, it's like approximately probably 12 years. I worked on a big concerts in Russia in Moscow.
So what do you
Putin's inauguration.
do? They shoot them? Yeah, really. Eh?
The first ones.
Did they shoot it?
Unfortunately, I shoot just with film,
film,
camera,
yeah.
not with
No,
gun. You know,
That was going
I will
going
be
through my head
happy
too.
And that was the thing. That's, you know, like my wife is Russian. Like Ukrainian and Russian people we're friendly between ourselves. There's
Sure.
like I said, it's not a
It's like Canadians and Americans.
exactly. It's not a
Yeah.
huge gap. Yeah, we're different people, different countries, but it's not a huge gap.
We have a absolutely.
You know, this whole issue was like, oh, the Ukrainian language and Russian language. There was never an issue like that in Ukraine.
to be
If you
honest,
spoke Ukrainian, you spoke Ukrainian. You spoke Russian, you spoke Russian. Nobody cared.
I was
It was
I was
invented
born
by
in Russia.
propaganda.
I was born in Russia. I mean, in Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Right.
Russian city, you know. After the 2 years, my mom moved to Kiev, you know, to the parents.
There's something like 20 million relatives from Ukrainians in
This is
in
not
Russia.
about.
It's
Be honest,
cross-border-
all this shit. Sorry for my
Oh,
French language.
Shit's a good
Yeah.
word.
stop
Yeah.
swearing. Fuck.
This is not about the conflict between Russians and Ukrainians. This is conflict between the Putin's Russia
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
And the rest of the
It's
world,
like-
really.
and the rest of the world. This is like exactly situation like we got like in the 40s with Hitler. This exactly the same situation.
Well, see, right shortly after our convoy what do you call it?
Freedom convoy.
Yeah, I'm literally looking for the word protest. Jesus.
Protest.
There was protests in Russia of Russians against what was going on with the government and war and whatever. And I'm seeing people on Facebook, including a family member actually, saying, down with the freedom convoy. What the hell are you doing protesting in Ottawa? There's violence, blah, 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 whatever. But what's happening in Russia, those protests, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no question.
Like I said,
what the fuck?
Whether I agree with the protest or I don't, it's their right to protest.
Everybody.
If they break the law by breaking other people's property, arrest those people that are breaking.
Agreed.
Absolutely. But what Andrew's
Everyone's
saying,
human.
there are people in Russia that are protesting against Putin.
And sorry,
Against
protests
Putin, of
are inconvenient. Like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
sort of why
Kind of
it's
the
a
point
protest,
of it. Yeah.
You know,
It's supposed to be
when people in
inconvenient.
Ottawa are saying, "Oh, but they're blocking the roads." Like, yeah, you live in a government city.
That's
and,
the idea.
It's like like sorry,
Become an annoyance.
Yeah. You live half a block from the parliament.
So-
Yeah.
Right now, actually, the Russians, which is part of the Ukrainian troops, fighting the Russians on the Russian territory. It's like 2 or 3 battalions.
There is a couple regiments.
Yeah,
They're Russian citizens that are fighting against Putin's regime
yeah.
with us.
I can only imagine.
And they crossed the border, Russian border, and go in towards the Moscow right now.
Well, not towards the Moscow.
No, I
They're-
mean towards them, not in the Moscow, but
they're-
towards the Moscow.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're in Belgrade, which is the
It's very close to the Ukrainian border, but
on the
anyway,
Ukrainian border. But yeah, they're creating some havoc there. Just to sort of
But see, that tells you something. That tells you that even the Russian people aren't standing with Putin with his bullshit.
no, of course not. There's a lot of propaganda. A lot of them are confused, but yes,
Of course,
100%.
as we are here.
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Don't take pictures of me taking pictures. What the hell?
I tried. Wow.
Yeah,
This
great.
conversation has
Actually,
been
sorry.
incredibly enlightening.
is.
Follow our conversation about the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Why right now Ukraine is Ukraine, not Russian arm.
Because it came from the Ukraine.
Yeah, because it's like the when we got like nickname Russian arm, everybody asking, "Oh, this is built in Russia?" No, it's built in Ukraine.
Excuse me,
Why
guys. I
it's-
just gotta.
Yeah, why it's Russian arm? This very simple answer because on the beginning when we started the business in United States and the Soviet Union just collapsed. And be honest, lots of people, be honest, only right now, probably 2 years, everybody knows, oh, this is Ukraine. Use it too. This like I can ask like people on the street, where is Ukraine? Do you know where I'm from? You're from Russia. Because the Soviet Union was Russia, And why?
Although Soviet Union wasn't Russia, it was
Like for the people, it was Russia. There's like basically. And in this case, it's like in the beginning in 1996, the guys who used us, because it was first piece of equipment from Soviet Union, basically like
Former
Soviet Union, in Hollywood, in California, in Los Angeles. And everybody just called, on the beginning it was actually a nickname, it's funny, it's Red October.
Oh, really?
Red October, yeah. But it's
Which was
probably
I really liked the movie.
yeah, there's actually yeah.
Me too.
It was like a few months, and after that, because actually the arm on the film language between the people, the arm it's like crane.
And also Canada arm was
Yeah.
very popular at that point.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So Canada arm, Russian arm,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
clicked and
And everybody,
I got
it's
stuck.
Russian arm, which goes inside the America, Yeah, and why it was nicknamed Russian arm? And we tried to fight this name like years and years. It's impossible because it's like brand. Everybody calling. Oh, I need Russian arm for tomorrow.
Right. It's like I need a Kleenex.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. And but this situation in 2022, immediately changed the situation, and we swapped the Russian arm to the Ukraine within like 2-3 days.
Well, first day we took the stickers off.
Yeah.
And in a couple days, once all the branches sort of talked between themselves and decided it's going to be a UCrane.
So was it just stickers, or did you
relatable.
guys actually have parts that were CNC'd?
Yeah, we
Yes,
re-CNC'd.
Yes.
certain
Okay.
parts.
Because I remember. Okay. My gosh.
The fin on top of the...
fin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
it said Russian arm.
Yeah.
The company cut
So
the
we
fin,
had
new
to
fin
remake
within
them.
like 2-3 days. We got like
Wicked.
sent to our branches.
And it makes much more sense.
Yeah.
It does, but...
Everybody asking what I mean the Ukraine. U actually it's properly supposed to be like big U dash crane.
Right.
Crane
Big
it means
C.
crane, so Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine.
I love it.
Very
Yeah, it's
simple.
great.
Yeah. Very simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is that because it's a crane? No, I'm just kidding.
no, this because it's crane basically. It's crane.
No, it's great. It's a much better name.
Yeah.
We think so too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, and it's just obviously it feels ridiculous that it was any other name. To be honest.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, Andrew and I were invited to your Meltdown 2024, where you guys showcased not only your equipment, but equipment that's available in the area or wherever. We had a ball. We had a great time with you guys.
awesome.
It was so fun. And some of the gear is insane. And you have a piece of equipment that you put the camera on, it goes through the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
The
arc
cam.
cam.
What's it called?
Arc cam.
Arc cam.
Arc.
Arc.
I got to tell
Yeah.
you, it's a very, very specialized shot. But as a director, wow! Like, oh my, is it out a lot? Like, do people order this? There's a lot of prep involved.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
need a day to prep.
It's incredible.
But
though.
obviously something inspired this.
But to go from
No?
to go
Not really, no.
no,
Not really.
but have you seen the shot? Like to go from the driver outside his window through the car and around to the passenger window is absolutely mind-bending.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it. I have nothing else to say.
It's very
What
cool.
a piece of
I
equipment.
think what he's trying to ask is, what
Every-
the fuck?
Can we use it on the weekend, please?
Yes.
Everybody likes it, but it needs that special...
Yeah, it's a
scene.
very
Like
specialized
if,
piece
if you
of
have a
equipment.
scene and a lot of dialogue in the car, it's awesome because you can get different angles
Yeah,
and you can move in between those angles.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's like a fancy hostage tray.
I mean, that's,
Like we
it's
did a music video, for example. It was two
Yeah.
guys rapping in the car, and it was perfect for that. But it needs that scene.
Does it have
it's
to
a
be-
very specialized?
Does the car that it's equipped in have to be towed, or can it?
No,
No, it can drive.
No, you can drive.
Drive.
You can drive.
I'm falling in love.
Because all operating we are
done from
doing
another
from
vehicle.
other car. We have the chase car, the everything wireless control it, and we have video. We have control for the camera. I mean for the head, and we have control for the arc. And we are not inside the vehicle. We are outside of the vehicle. In this case, inside the vehicle could be only actors.
Yeah,
And it's funny. Everybody really likes it. They always ask about it, but most of the conversations never go anywhere because you need a prep day and
yeah, it's expensive.
it's a
I would
thing.
imagine.
Yeah.
But we did a car commercial in Vancouver. We shipped it from here to Vancouver, and there was a client request. They saw it on our Instagram and they said, "We want that."
oh damn.
Oh no, it's an incredible
It was
piece.
cool.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
we did,
because,
so
it
it was mounted inside the vehicle,
Yeah.
so you can go through the back basically remove the rear doors and you go from driver to passenger through the back. And the whole idea was they had 4 different seasons that they wanted to show. So winter, summer, fall, and spring. And every time we would switch aside, there will be a different season. So we basically shot the car in 4 different locations. And then they used the transition to transition from one season to the next.
Sweet.
To the next.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It actually worked out really cool.
Oh man.
Sorry, I love this piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it's, it's that specific thing that commercial or whatever.
Sure.
Or scene that
Yeah, you have to have a
Rare.
specific.
It's not an everyday tool.
It should
Well,
be
what's
specific
interesting is
shots for that.
If you're a director and you're part of the writing process of anything, whether it be a commercial, film, or TV show, you can write your scene based on that
Yeah.
piece of equipment
You could.
because
Knowing that it exists.
knowing
Yeah.
it's incredible. So
Why we basically, sorry, I interrupt you. Why we very often invite the people come to us and we can show, because somebody hear something, somebody see the pictures, but be honest, like for me to buy something from Amazon, sometimes it's not really good. I prefer to go in a store, touch this one,
Oh,
this one,
absolutely.
and
Sure.
yeah, I know Amazon very easy, you can buy it, you can return back, but anyway, it's not good. The same situation with our equipment, If somebody, for director of photography, there's these like main people, key grips, can come, we can ready to show in any time, Call us today, tomorrow, you can come and we can show you. We can set up equipment because we know how to use this equipment. We have this experience. For example, the people was surprised on some demo. We put, we have like telescopic arms, regular one. The carbon fiber, very light. It's very easy to set up on any positions. And what we did, we drop the arm without the base, just on the floor, on the Apple boxes. Yeah. And we can go underneath of the vehicle.
Yeah, telescope.
Underneath of the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gotta be an SUV or like we did
Yeah.
it with the truck.
we get it. But
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can start, for example, somebody jump out from the passenger, for example, jump out from the vehicle. And after that, go around the vehicle, we can go underneath, follow this guy, his legs, And after that, just he can come to the driver. This is like example.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
Wow.
okay. Keep talking because my head is dreaming right now.
yeah.
I'm making notes.
Yeah.
If say you want to shoot a kid crawling under the table,
Yeah.
you can do it with that. It's ideal because I can go in. There's enough space here.
Yeah. We can install, for example, even on the long table and people drinking or eating. We can drop on the arm on a table, and you can just move through the whole table.
Well, if it's above, you don't need to. You can stay in the base. But if you want
but
something
it's
that
underneath,
low under,
under for
Yeah.
sure.
Because
you can't
if
lay
they're-
track because you're gonna see it as you.
if they're
Crafting.
drinking at a table, someone is eventually going to be on the floor, and you're going to want to shoot that.
Yeah. And recently in Montreal, guys.
Did I mention this vodka is very tasty?
And recently in Montreal, they got very funny shot, and we sold one crane to Montreal to our representative, and he called me and asked if it's possible to put the arm from the regular crane vertically, I said, yeah, there's it's supposed to be not 90 degrees, probably something like 80 degrees, just a little bit like that. They shot some stuff, somebody jumping inside the
Pipe?
No, not pipe.
Like a silo?
No. Это не водосточная, а дымоходная труба.
Oh, chimney.
Chimney. Inside the chimney. Just moving through the chimney.
Oh, man.
Of course, they built a little bit bigger chimney than
Sure.
regular, And I said, that's okay, you can do this. And what the guy did, just remove the arm, just the arm, set it up on this position, and they did the shot,
Somebody fell into the chimney?
Yeah.
So
Someone was
so-
crawling through the chimney.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
they,
rolling
had, they
through the
wanted
chimney.
to follow.
not falling, but
yeah.
crawling.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
Crawling
Would
through
not
that.
be-
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, in this case, it's like these new arms. We have like very small arm, like for example, F-17. We can fit here inside, and actually, in the next probably like podcast, we can bring the arm.
Yeah,
and
we should
can,
get one.
We
we
should have
can-
done that.
We can do this like real shooting here, you know.
We get more views with these dynamic
Yeah,
shots.
absolutely, yeah. Because it's very small, it's fit here, you know, and the arms very light, you know. In this case, it's like in the past, like the key grips from the commercials, especially commercials. They like this one because you know, in the commercial, I need on the roof, I need somewhere, I need
absolutely.
to go down, you know, and just like move the arm from the base, like separate all take apart. It's like 25 minutes probably.
That's great.
Like 4 people carry this small arm like F-17. Together with Nikita, we can carry arm. You know, the F-27 a little bit heavier. But anyway, 4 people can go with the arm. 1 people for the center post, another people from
That's great.
with the base. That's it. You know, go to the roof, set up back. 25 minutes, 30 minutes, ready to go.
The old adage in Hollywood is that time is money,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's incredible.
Plus no power. It's just powering from the battery.
Okay.
Yeah, right on.
Now, speaking of batteries, has nothing to do with batteries. That boat. So I got to say, you guys are incredibly generous in having the Meltdown 24, where, like, in years previous, you showcased your own equipment, but this year you invited tons of people with their gear to come to your facility and showcase to the film industry, which was incredibly exciting. There's so many pieces of equipment I've never seen before. And I mean, my mind just swims with the possibilities. But the new camera boat that Jason McLaughlin brought,
Yeah, Pegasus Rescue.
yeah, Pegasus
Pegasus.
Rescue, out of Cambridge,
Yep.
right here. He's like my neighbor. And tell me more about that. Like, you guys can put your arm on that boat.
Yes. Well, not the UCrane.
Okay.
No,
Although
of course.
theoretically we could. We really liked it for using with the F-27. It has a drop nose, so it's very easy to get into it.
Like a landing craft, like what
a
people
landing
see in a
craft.
war movie.
Because we have for the forklifts, lift gate.
on the
And,
truck.
yeah, on the truck, you know. We just back up to the boat
And roll the
and
dolly
roll,
in.
Roll the crane in,
Yeah.
and
strap
that's
it in. And
Very easy. And all
put the
set up, the main idea of this boat, actually, Nikita did first movie, actually. It's like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, the novice.
Yeah, on the boat, first time with this crane.
Oh,
you
yeah?
know. This like few years ago, you know.
Oh, okay.
It was really successful.
I see.
Everybody was happy. And the camera assistant.
It wasn't this boat. This is finally a
it's like not
properly
exactly
camera
this
prepped boat.
Right.
With
Yeah.
rigging points. That
Right,
was
right.
just a rented boat, but same Stanley
Stanley
you know,
boat, yeah.
boat.
Okay.
I see.
And camera assistant extremely happy because all setup we are doing on a
On land.
land, not on the water, on the land. It's safe, it's nice, you know.
It's not.
Camera, everything, we are ready. The guys go to the water, drop the boat on the water, we're shooting. Overnight, we can pull out and keep on the
No,
ground.
but we don't. We usually.
No, if you need.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And moreover, I asked guys, can we drive to another location like that? Let's probably just take off the camera. Yeah, we can strap the arm and go
No, it's great. It's
from one lake to another.
for a purpose-built piece of equipment. That it's pretty awesome.
That one is awesome because the
impressive.
original Stanley boat had a pretty big cab for the boat operator. On this one, they pushed it back, which created a lot more space for the operator, for the guy that's on the crane, for the focus puller,
Sure.
and they introduced the standard gripping.
Yeah, all the
for
rigging
pipe,
points.
all the rigging points.
Yeah,
rigging points,
it's incredible.
Rigging outside, rigging inside. It's
So you can actually rig a boat to it
yeah,
and towed.
at a fair distance,
Yeah.
and then go together.
They
yeah.
did a-
Pretty awesome.
And
Plus,
this yeah.
they have some stands to create the tent, for example, for the people, and actually this is good information probably for production if there's somebody from production see me. The guys right now are creating another boat. It
Techland?
will be
Techland?
no,
vi-
Village.
video,
Oh,
video,
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 yeah.
They mentioned that actually.
Yeah.
That's a great
Because
idea.
you can't fit everyone on the boat.
No,
Oh,
of
that
course
makes
not.
sense.
It'll
No, of
basically
course.
be focus puller operator,
Yeah,
crane
technicians.
operator.
Yeah.
and
We're
that's
gonna
it.
shoot from this one. They can sit over there.
Now I came up with a kind of a unique idea, and I don't think anyone would disagree. But a craft boat,
craft boat, yeah.
craft boat.
It is a problem. Once you get out on the
okay.
lake, you don't get
Okay,
nothing.
No coffee. There's no coffee.
No, nothing.
And I can supply vodka for the craft boat.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so I love that. Okay, I'm coming. So you've got the camera boat, the Video Village boat,
Yeah.
the craft boat,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the honey pot boat, because you're gonna
Yeah.
after all that coffee, you're gonna have to pee.
Well, yeah. Just
I
jump
guess
in
you
the
can just
water.
stand at the edge, eh?
Some of us can do that. Yeah.
That craft boat.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because on the beginning when we started the business in 2007, we did actually almost first shot on a lake with small like stuff.
It was a
there's,
tugboat.
A tugboat. It's very dangerous, And I was surprised at this, the Canada, lots of lake around, and no specialized equipment to shoot on the lake.
I thought of that. I think I mentioned it at your meltdown of when I think we talked to one of the boat guys. All these lakes,
Yeah.
the water where we are, and there's nothing.
Nothing, for sure.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's just crazy how it took so much time to get it.
Yeah.
But
And right now, the guys
now it exists.
find
so-
yes exist, and if production needs it, it's like very easy. And for the last couple years, we're recommending all the time Stanley boat because we know this is reliable. It's pretty fast. Can take the crane, can take the
Stable.
people. It's stable.
Stable's important.
Yeah, it's very
I
important.
did a show a while back where we had those big houseboats with the big pontoon deals.
Yeah.
We put a crane on it. A couple people. That's it.
Yep.
You can't put any more on it because it's all just you can see these pontoons going under the water.
Yeah.
And the producer came over to me and she said, "How many people can we put on this? Because all these people want to get on it."
No.
Nope.
No.
That's entirely up to the captain, but it's
And you get no speed.
But now it's over. You had to see it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
This one is great. It's
Great. Yeah.
The Pegasus guys did a good job. 100%.
Yeah.
Now we just need a movie.
Yeah, I hope someday, somehow, I'm involved in working with this boat.
Somebody's listening.
Well, we unfortunately have to sort of round this up. But guys, before you go, I would love if you guys were down to sign our table.
Of course.
You guys into that? Please and thank you. And Oleksiy, if you want to, just like who left that badge? Was it Adam?
Adam did, yes.
Yeah. You can leave the award, if you want to leave the Oscar here with the table right next to your signature.
You know what?
Okay.
We have very good right now, like neighbors. They have very beautiful printer. I can ask them; they can print thousands of them.
That'd be excellent. A podcast award. Would be
Yeah, we can give everybody.
Nikita introduced me to him
They
at
can
your
sign
meltdown.
something from me, and they can sign. I'm not really.
best
What do you mean,
podcast
this?
ever. Oh,
I can make mistakes. I'm confusing.
Now, see, what Nikita is referring to is that, Going Again is not the best podcast ever. It's just
Where?
us doing it with them is the best podcast.
that's the truth.
Where I have to sign?
Oh, anywhere you want.
Do your own.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, come on up here, closer to Andrew.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, man.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Guys.
Right back at you.
Oh, guys.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Oleksiy.
Oh, man, thank
I
you.
love you guys, he wrote. That's incredible.
Guys, thank you so much for
Thank you so
coming
much
out
for
and
having
being
us.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Such a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to chat with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea. And Oleksiy, cheers, brother.
Oh, cheers.
I appreciate
Cheers,
it
man.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. All right. Cut it, B.